Welcome to WomanVision TV. I'm your host, Nadia Giordana. My guest today is Michelle Hinck. She's a dedicated volunteer for sharing and caring hands and a firm believer in paying it forward. She's the author of Great Love, the Mary Jo Copeland Story. Let's go talk to her and find out about some of the exciting developments that have happened over the last few months. Michelle, hi, welcome to the show. I'm glad you could make it today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get to talking about Mary Jo Copeland, I'd like to know a little bit about you and what you do.
My first book was published about 10 years ago, so the current release is a revised edition of that. Mm-hmm. In between, I got married and became a stepmom, became a mom, and have been very, very busy with home life. And when our youngest went off to kindergarten, I thought maybe it's time to dust off the cobwebs a little bit and get writing mm-hmm. again. And lo and behold, right around that same time, the revised edition came up. So I don't know. I think it's kind of it's very nice to come back in right where I left off.
Oh yes, absolutely. And give us some background. What came first? Did you meet Mary Jo Copeland and write that first book, or was it the other way around?
It was the first way around. I actually, I had heard about her, as many people who live in the Twin Cities have. She's in the news a lot and mm-hmm. Has done some incredible work socially for all of the people that live in Minnesota and beyond. But I didn't really know what the deal was. I didn't know the extent of her outreach. I thought it was just kind of like any other soup kitchen. Go mm-hmm. in, serve a meal, and mm-hmm. Done your part for the day. So that's all I was expecting. I had no idea what I was walking into. I mean, her outreach it goes so far beyond that. I mean, she has a free clothing room for anybody who needs anything. No questions asked. They can come and get what they need. She has a food shelf. If people need groceries, they can get a box of groceries. She has a medical clinic. She has a dental clinic on site. She has showering facilities for people that, when they're on the street, a lot of us take for granted that they don't even have a place to bathe. So she provides that. There is a residential facility now. She houses over 500 people at any given time. The majority of which right now the count is around 432 children, mm-hmm. I think, but they're family units. They're all individual apartments. There is also a daycare center. There's a teen center for all of the residents that live at Mary's Place, the branch of Sharing and Caring Hands. So when I walked in, we served the meal, and it was not only everything that she's built, but the way that she interacts with the poor mm-hmm. that it just really touched my heart. I mean, she's not just providing things for people. She genuinely cares about them. Everybody that walks in the door, she greets them personally. I mean, she literally, in the eyes of Jesus, she gets down on her knees and washes the feet of the poor. I mean, it's so incredible, and you don't see that every day. Women like her do not come along every day.
No, they don't. And for the few people that don't know who Mary Jo Copeland is, say a little bit about her.
She's the founder and director of Sharing and Caring Hands and Mary's Place and Mary My Hope, the teen center and daycare. She started in 1985 mm-hmm. with a small $2,000 monetary award from Channel 11. She was one of the 11 Who Care recipients. Okay. And us veteran Twin mm-hmm. Cities residents know that was a kind of a big thing, started in the 80s. So she took that $2,000 and started up her own little storefront down on Glenwood Avenue in 1985, and literally with no budget other than that $2,000 startup, she has built and garnered this multi-million-dollar three-building campus in downtown Minneapolis that has been serving the needs of the poor. And these are people that they're falling through the cracks. They don't they don't qualify for other agency support. Sure. And so she has not only started this home for people of love. She doesn't take any state money, no government money. Every penny has been raised independently.
That is amazing. Her story is amazing. So you were working with her and with Sharing and Caring Hands, And then it came about that you wrote the book, and that was 10 years ago.
Right.
And now the book that's out now is the revised version of that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So it mainly covers, the last chapter covers everything kind of that's changed with the landscape, both socially, economically. There's the need now. It seems impossible, but it's greater than it's ever been. I mean, I think a lot of us have just been really shaken to the core, and it's not just people that have been, dragged through this lifestyle from the beginning. I mean, it's middle America. So many people have lost their jobs. There's so many people that are in need. I mean, it seems impossible to be able to fulfill that, but Mary Jo has just continued to plug away and, keeps fulfilling those needs.
She never stops.
She just doesn't.
She doesn't. Well, there was a trip to the White House recently. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, I can't believe the timing on this. So when Mary Jo and I decided to do this revised edition, we had just begun work on it, and she got a call from the White House, and they informed her that she was one of the 2013 recipients of the Presidential Citizens Medal, which is virtually the highest honor that a civilian can receive. I think the only thing that's higher is the Medal of Freedom, which is typically only given to members of the military. So it's a big deal. Yeah. It was a really big deal. And I again, the timing in this could not have been more perfect. And I was fortunate enough to be able to travel along with her on this trip. And I got to meet President Obama and get a tour, kind of the back end tour of the White House that most people don't get to see. Yeah. So yeah, it was really exciting.
Well, what were some of the highlights of that trip while you were in Washington and around the White House?
Well, it was really a whirlwind. We were kind of, in and out, and the ceremony was amazing. But I think ahead of the ceremony, we all got to go early, after a very extensive security check. It's not easy to get into the White House these days. But it was really neat, again, seeing things that are not on the public tour. And I didn't know at the time. I wish I had known. I would have taken more pictures. But when you go for the public tour, you're not allowed to bring a camera, not allowed a cell phone, nothing. But we were in the Red Room and the Blue Room and the State Dining Room. And there were members of the Air National Guard that were kind of chaperoning us. And it was really interesting because the president was running a little late that morning, and so they kind of filled the gap by giving us the history and the background on a lot of the artwork that is displayed in the White House and just some of the traditions that were started years ago that are still upheld today. It was very interesting to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I did manage to take a couple of pictures, and again, I wish I had known that usually that's not allowed. I would have taken a lot more.
That must have been really thrilling.
Yeah, and then of course the moment that you're shaking hands with the President of the United States, it's really a thrill.
It's a big deal when that happens.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen to everyone.
I hope I get invited back someday.
You probably will. Well, do you have another book in the works or some other project?
I do. I have a children's book. I hope it will become a series, but I have the first book in the series that will release this year. And I've got a couple of other projects that are still in early development that I can't talk about yet. But the most I can say is it's another project to do with social justice.
Okay.
So,
well, that sounds interesting too.
Yeah.
And before we go, is there anything that I haven't asked that you'd like people to know?
Well, this whole project, both when it started 10 years ago and kind of re-upping it right now, it really just kind of came from my own passion of, I don't know, I just really believe, we're all here for a reason. None of us knows how long we're going to get to be here. Yeah. I mean, it changes. We've seen it over and over and over in the news that it can change on a dime. And I really feel that, while we are here, we should just help each other out if we can, in any way that we can. And so 100% of book sale proceeds are being donated to Sharing and Caring Hands.
Wonderful.
So,
wonderful. How can viewers get more information, and do you have a website?
I do.
Okay.
So it's just my name, MichelleHinck.com is my website, and also it's available on Amazon. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Target, all major booksellers.
Oh, terrific. Well, I was going to call you Mary Jo.
Well, I can't quite live up to that, but I try to help her in any way I can.
Michelle, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Nadia.
It was just great.